So it says here that The Undertaker opens up about missing WrestleMania 37. And before we get into this article, I heard that they're going to be saving his Hall of Fame ceremony. Because, one, Mark Calloway is from Houston, Texas, right? So you want to make sure that everybody is there. Hall of Fame ceremony when you have Undertaker comes up, thanking his fans, doing whatever they do in the Hall of Fame speech. And the fact that WrestleMania 38 is going to be in Houston, Texas. So it's going to make so much sense. So I'm glad that they're basically doing something like this. Even though I kind of predicted last year that he was going to be in the Hall of Fame in 2021 since he retired. But 2022 Hall of Fame is worth it. So I'm all for it. After being a staple of WrestleMania well over 2 decades, The Undertaker will play no role in WrestleMania 37 this coming weekend. The Dead Man announced last year that he was officially retiring from following his Boneyard match with AJ Styles at WrestleMania 36, then had a final farewell ceremony at Survivor Series in November. Undertaker, real name Mark Calloway, spoke with ESPN Sports Nation earlier this week and admitted he had to fight to urge to start training for another WrestleMania match. And apparently, I don't think he should be doing any of this. I mean, the guy retired, so I'm guessing it has a lot to do with his match with AJ Styles, and it kind of makes sense. It's definitely going to be a surreal because I'm going to think that I need to be there. This is what Undertaker had to say. And it's funny because it kind of started around October, because usually around October is where I go to camp and start training and start getting my body for WrestleMania. And I purposely kind of took it easy this year after a Barnyard match, just trying to heal up, Calloway said, but it did around October, man, my mind and everything just started going, and I'm like, no, it's not going to happen this year. You have to come to grips with it. Then in November, when I finally said that was it, I've been good, I'm at peace with my decision. And this is what he said about his retirement after his match with AJ Styles. And he did it on Father's Day, which makes sense. So, for people that are still crying about him not retiring properly, need to get a grip. But once the ballyhoo and all that starts with WrestleMania, man, I'm sure I'll be sitting in my chair, rocking back and forth, thinking, oh man, I should be out there. Something's not right. He continued. But it's evolution. It's time for me to step aside and let these young corporate superstars do their thing and take this thing and take it to the new level. I'm proud for what I was able to accomplish, and I'm anxious to see what I can't read what he says, but he's saying that he was going to step aside and let this new generation do their thing, and while he just sits and watch. And he's grateful for everything he's accomplished earlier in his career, in his lifetime. So what that means is that he's going to just make sure his presence is there while he watches a new generation of stars do their thing. Following his comments about this company being soft and everything, he did open up about not being in WrestleMania 37 this year, and I think it's a good thing, because when you're retired, you have to mean what you say. You have to keep your word and not break promises, unlike some people. Anyways, it's good to see that Mark Calloway is opening up about, not being in WrestleMania 37 this year, and the fact that he's willing to admit that his time was to retire. He clearly made his decision on his own, not by the fans or his doctors. He's getting older, and he needed to come to grip that you cannot go anymore like you used to. So I'm perfectly happy that he's enjoying his retirement. And just recently, I saw his video about hunting deers with some YouTubers. So that lets me know that he's enjoying his retirement. And hey, he can start his YouTube channel, and he can talk about whatever he want to talk about, and I'll be there to react to it, and I'll be there to watch. So, what y'all think in the comments below? Do you miss Undertaker in the WWE? Do you miss him being in WrestleMania? Or do you think him retiring is the best thing to do? So, you know what to do. Put it in the chat.